Hey, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode on Flowers for Real. Um, I had a good time talking last week, and today is July 9th, and I wanted to talk again. It's a beautiful day in Texas. Like I said, it's July 9th. I can't believe we're already 7 months into this year. That is crazy. July 4th was very regular. But yeah, over the weekend there was some very devastating flash floods around North Texas, pretty much all over the place. I know there was some in, I think, South Carolina or North Carolina too, but in North Texas. And I actually had some church members, some girls who went down to a camp that was flooded. Thankfully, we are blessed that all of them made it home safely, but that is like not the case for a lot of the girls who were also there. Some of them are still missing, and some of them have passed away, which is very sad news. And I pray for the families of those who lost somebody. That is terrible to think they're going to go down and have fun and fellowship and learn about God and sing songs and just enjoy, being in the presence of God with their friends and, other family members. And then to have, such a crazy thing happen that was unexpected and cannot be prepared for, can't even be planned for, and now they don't get to come home. That is very sad. I have 5 children. I have 1 daughter, and I just can't imagine. It's terrible. But what I wanted to talk about today, I actually just had an episode of Discovery Channel happen in the backyard, which was really cool, but also kind of terrifying. There's this thing called a cicada killer wasp, and I have been seeing them in the backyard since I've been gardening, and I just saw it kill. I saw one come and find a cicada and literally kill it. I saw it literally stab it with its stinger, which was, like I said, cool, but also terrifying. So I guess, the name fits. They really do be killing cicadas, and they really did it. And the cicada's body is literally sitting on the patio. Not funny. But yeah. I actually was out there a little bit right before that happened, before I made lunch for the boys. I was out there protecting some of my plants because I have a lot of little baby plants. I have 2 bean plants, green beans, that just popped up, and their little leaves, their little new baby leaves were getting burnt up. They were getting dried out in the sun. I know I saw it from looking through the window. I saw, like, wait a minute, it looks like they're like a lot of the leaves out there are shriveled up. I have a bunch of tomato plants, like I said last time, tomato plants. I have cucumber, a bunch of sunflower, some marigolds, some other different types of wildflowers that I don't know the names of. I also have spinach, squash, and is that it? I have peppers, but the peppers have not come up yet, and I'm still praying for them and talking to the seeds. Please pop up, please come up. But yeah, so I saw the leaves getting shriveled up, and I was like, oh no, I need to do something to protect them. I don't have a little shade cover thing, and it's been raining, like I said, for the past couple days, or been at least overcast, and so I saw them getting shriveled up, and I'm like, oh no, I need something to protect them, and I don't have anything to cover them right now. I'm probably going to get that this weekend. That is on number 1 on my list. Get something. Or I'm the kind of person who, if I find out I need something, I want to see if I can make it first before I buy it. And I know I can fashion together some type of shade cover thing, even if it's temporary and I have to do it again soon. For now, I know I can figure it out. So yeah, I used this little sit and spin thing to cover up my bean plants, and I used a skateboard to cover up my squash, and then I used, what did I use? This like wooden piece of, this long wood piece thing, board, to cover up my baby sunflowers because they were getting burnt up. But yeah, so my next goal is to go ahead and get something to cover it, or like I said, fashion together some type of fabric and some sticks or something, some poles. I'm hoping I can find something at Dollar Tree, if not, or Five Below, or like Ross or something like that, before I have to actually go to Home Depot and like use the real stuff. So yeah, gardening to me is like, it's fun. It's something I've always wanted to do. My grandpa on my dad's side, he has a green thumb and he's always gardening and stuff. Um, and my grandma on my mom's side, there's probably other people too, but I just know my grandma like had a garden. She had strawberries and she had, greens and all kinds of stuff, peppers, and she had a bunch of different like what do they call succulents. I remember I used to like touch the little spiky things and poke my finger and stuff. But she's always had a garden for like pretty much my entire life. Every time I went outside with her, she would just have like little things, and I remember going shopping with her to different nurseries for her to get plants that she liked and stuff. And so yeah, I've always wanted to have my own garden. I've always wanted to like start growing stuff. And it's probably been a few years since I started. Like I started with the avocado. Everybody, there was like the rage when everybody was doing the whole grab avocado. I mean, after your avocado seed, put it over the water with the sticks and, watch it grow. I did that, and I tried it so many times and it never worked. And then finally it just started working. As I'm sitting here, I'm looking across for me on my dad's speaker, and there's like a 2-year-old. It might be 3 years old by this time. 3-year-old avocado plant that I started from a pit that my stepmom had brought home. And so, yeah, I've done that a few times. I actually, in 2022, I had a bunch of stuff. I had a mango plant. I had this other plant. I don't know what it's called. I had a few avocados. I was like growing a bunch of different seeds. And then even last year when we were living in Houston, I had a bunch of stuff. I had like carrots and peppers and squash and what else did I have? Tomatoes. And I started like a whole thing. I found like this little brown box thing that was like it came from something we bought. I don't know if it was something we bought had like this cardboard box with like different little slots in it. So I just filled it up with dirt and I planted a whole bunch of seeds. I went to Dollar Tree, which is where I always go to get seeds because they're cheap and they actually grow. Sometimes they're unfertile, or sometimes they're only like male sides and they don't have, like I've done it before when we did cantaloupe one year, and the cantaloupe grew, but it never, I think it was only one side, so it never grew anything. Like it just was viney and continued to grow, and it had flowers, but they never turned into fruit. So I think it was infertile. But yeah, so I remember doing that. And last year I was like trying to kind of sort of serious. Like I had a bunch of plants and they were all doing really well, but we had a dog at that time, MJ, who I miss dearly. She was a great dog. We had her since she was a pup, and we found her. Anyways, that's another story. But yeah, so she literally destroyed my plants for fun. Like she would grab the cups that I would use and like tip them over and stomp on it and throw them around like it was fun. And she did that to all my plants. She literally knocked them off of like the stools I had them on, and knocked them off of the chairs, knocked them off of the, the counters, and literally destroyed all the plants. So they were growing, and I probably would have had good stuff. Oh, I forgot I had cauliflower, I had broccoli, I had Swiss chard, and they were all doing so well. It was like, I don't know if Houston just has like really great air. Like it was humid, and so they were moist and they weren't like drying out. It was hot, but they weren't like super hot. The point of the matter is it was great, and they were doing it really good, but that didn't last. Sorry for that squeaking. That is the table, at the kitchen table. But yeah, so I've always wanted to have a garden and just grow stuff, but I always was waiting for like me to have my own house to be able to do it, like take it seriously. And we've done it here at my parents' house. They've had this outside like gardening box that they built probably like maybe 3 or 4 years now, and we've grown things in there. My sister grew cucumber I think it was last year she grew cucumber. We've had tomatoes in there that worked and whatever, but we never really took it like super seriously, and kind of just got overgrown, or we just stopped paying attention to it, didn't water it enough or whatever. And so this year, in honor of flowers, which is something that I have been working on and building in my head since like 2021, 2022. I was like, I felt like the Holy Spirit was telling me, do it now. Don't wait till you have your own house. Do it now. Why wait? You're going to wait and then just test it out when you get your own house and hope that everything works out all of a sudden. No, that's not how it's going to work. So all last year, since we've been here, I've been collecting like seeds. They would like save the pits from cherries, and I had to like pop those open with like hammers and screws and stuff, like to get them outside of the pit. I did that with peaches, the mango. What else did I have? I have 2 apple trees out there now. I have another avocado tree. I did save a watermelon from like a couple weeks ago. We got a watermelon from Aldi, but I put it out there. I think I talked about this last time. I put it out there way too soon and it burnt up. So now I can see from where I'm sitting outside, I can see my cantaloupe is doing really good. I'm going to have to split that up this weekend and actually put them in their own containers. I'm hoping to find a cheap planter box. That way I can like graduate grow them. I think that's what it's called. When you like put them in something and they have like room to grow up. Yeah. So yeah, that's what when they're so they can grow up. And I'm gonna get those little nets to carry the fruit. I hope the cantaloupe works. My son helped me plant those, and that would be really cool if they work. And then we can save the seeds. I don't eat cantaloupe, but it would be really fun to grow it. Just like I don't really like cucumbers at all unless I pickle them, but it's really fun to grow them. I'm gonna have to do a video of my cucumbers because they look so cool right now. I have one really big one. I say really big, and it's more maybe like 3 inches long, but it's really nice and it's green and it looks great. So yeah. But yeah, gardening to me is like, it's just really fun, and I do feel like that is what something I'm supposed to be doing. When my dad was out there this weekend, he was like, "Oh, maybe you have your grandpa's green thumb," and I'm like, "Yeah, my grandma and my grandpa." I think that'd be cool to carry on the legacy in that way. And I was saying that like we almost have enough for a full salad. But yeah, I'm hoping that eventually when we do finally get our house, that I can plant my trees, my 2 apple trees, my cherry tree, my avocado tree, and that those can be fruitful eventually. I'm already been on Monrovia. They have like a website. I do my research on like what kind of plants do the best and what kind of plants do well here in Texas, and you know what has the best fruit and what's been cultivated the best way to get the best quality fruit, because I plan to use the fruit that I grow to give away. Fruit, I should just say food, the food that I grow to give away, but also to put into my desserts, my baked goods, my pastries, or whatever that I decide to make. And so I really want good quality, delicious fruit that you can eat plain, but also that adds something to everything that I make. So yeah, that is what I have been thinking about. That is how I feel about gardening at the moment. It's just nice to be out there and see something that you put into the ground as a seed, and then it finally grows up and like, oh, it has flowers, or you know, now that I'm seeing the fruit, like, oh, it's so fruitful, it's so happy. And it just makes me think of like when God said be fruitful and multiply. Literally you can see that happening. Of course I've already done that, I have children, but also my ideas, my thoughts, my plants and stuff that I'm growing, it just seems really cool. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens. I'm excited to harvest all the stuff that I put in the ground and just be able to eat it. And yeah, it's just I have a lot of fun going out there and like picking the weeds and watering it. I try to get up early in the morning and water it. I probably should be doing it at nighttime, but I'll be forgetting. And when I put my kids to bed, I'll be going to bed too, so I'll be forgetting. But I'm looking forward to them just doing their best and living their best life. Especially thinking about like my grandma. She's from Texas, and she used to be like, she told me, you know, they used to be sharecroppers, or they used to grow and pick like almonds and other things, and they used to literally like live off the land. They had a farm, and they used to, you know, eat. Their family had a farm and stuff, and they used to just grow stuff. My Uncle George, he was known for his garden and his like different fruits in his backyard. I remember I went there one time. I think he lived in Hayward, and just seeing, you know, all the stuff he had in his backyard that he was growing. And he used to bring my grandma stuff. My grandma used to bring him stuff, and it was just really cool. I remember also like, there was a family reunion in, I think, 2013. And that's the year my brother passed away. It was like this actual, something that like helps it to stick in my mind. Is like, it was the first time I had yellow watermelon. My Uncle Ernie was like cutting up the watermelon, and one of them that he cut open, like we were waiting for it. We were all out in the hot sun in Fresno, and he cut up the watermelon. It was yellow. We were like, oh my goodness. Like, I had never seen a yellow watermelon before. I didn't know that happen. He was telling a story that like when they used to like bust the watermelons open to, eat the fruit when they were out there. And when there was a yellow one, they just wouldn't eat it. They used to think it was like, I don't know, scary or, just weird or something. And yeah, I tasted that watermelon. It actually tastes good. I don't know. It tastes good. I don't know if it tasted different. I kind of can't remember. I just know it was the first time I ever saw a yellow watermelon. Yeah. And so to be able to be a part of that kind of a family history or that kind of a culture, it just feels good. And I'm glad that my sons are excited about it. My daughter's not old enough yet, but I hope she's out there one day with me in the garden. And I hope she gets excited to plant stuff. I remember when we first started, that's funny. They had my stepmom had put out like different pots, and like she like named what the kids wanted to grow on the cups. And like there was like beans, and there was, different stuff, peppers maybe, and, maybe tomatoes or whatever. But the kids were really excited to see what happened. And of course, because it's so hot outside, they kind of got dried up and died. And, they just didn't get watered the way they should have been. It was just something fun to do and to give the kids something to do. But I just was really happy that they were excited to be able to grow stuff. And so, yeah, I'm going to end this here. I thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have a garden or if you're interested in gardening, or what things you would like to grow or what things you would like to buy if somebody grew them. What would you try? Because I have so many different things I want to grow, like kiwi and papaya and all this kind of stuff that I want to actually grow. And yeah, I'm just curious to know what you would grow, what you would like to buy, or what you would like to try, or what you would like to have like put into a dessert or whatever. Yeah. So thank you for listening again, and I will not see you next time, but I will talk to you next time. Peace.